Southside shows for a couple dollars, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Brew Party Podcast, episode 96. It's our NFL Wildcard Weekend preview, as well as Maloney's money line, but we are minus the Maloney part of the Maloney's money line. Ryan stood me up. He didn't show up for the show. He never does this. I'm kidding. Life gets in the way sometimes. He had some more important shit to do. If he gets back in time, he'll join us. If not, I'll give my picks. We'll get picks from him later, and we'll still put those out. But anyway, forget Ryan. No, I never could. He's the love of my life. Longtime friend of the show. First time for her being on in quite a long time. Jameis Winston lover, fellow Jameis Winston lover, I should say. New York Giants fan from New York, New York. It is Sam Cardona from the Girl Who Talks Sports podcast. She is going to be filling in, and we're going to be doing an NFL Wildcard Weekend preview. We are going to hit all 6 games, starting with the 2 tomorrow. Though, what, 5 on Sunday, and 3 on Sunday, and the 1 on Monday. We got a Monday night playoff game. Let's go. Anyway, this is enough of me talking. Sam, please help me. Thank you for being here. I love it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just call me Ryan Maloney. I am ready to fill this spot, even though I could never in a million years. Ryan knew I was coming. That's why
he did.
That's why he was just like, yeah, no, we can't have both of us in the same room. But yeah, I'm stoked to be here. I'm so excited to go over Wild Card Weekend with you. It's gonna be a blast. I just actually enjoyed watching you struggle a bit there in the beginning, and that's why I didn't say anything.
I struggled hard. I'm glad you didn't say anything. I got through it though. We're here. We're back. So let's talk about it. Let's open with the first game, because I know this is a game that you're going to be interested in for the sole fact of who's playing quarterback. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost wanted to say Oakland there. But we got Joey B versus Derek Carr. The Raiders get in after that insane overtime game last week. Initial thoughts on this game?
Well, first of all, I just have to say this right off the bat. I think all of these games are going to be phenomenal football games. Like, I really have yet to see a disappointing game in any of these. With this Raiders-Bengals game, to be honest with you, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I was so mad that the Chargers at least didn't tie and get into the playoffs last week, because that was, first of all, crazy freaking game. It took years off my life, to be honest with you. But the Raiders didn't really wow me this year to begin with. So the fact that they're in the playoffs is like a bit surprising. And Joey B, despite the injury, despite, what might happen, him and I will sit on this pedestal and I will swallow my pride. Joey B, Jamar Chase is one of the most electric duos in the league right now. And I will say that their offensive line still needs help. I will say that. We've had this conversation before. But my God, have they been absolutely incredible. And despite, I know it's Joe's first playoff game and Jamar's first playoff game, but I have a feeling that they're going to come out. They're going to be ready to go. And it's in Cincinnati, right? So, they have their home field advantage, and I have a feeling that this is going to go in the Bengals' direction.
I am so glad that you're now on the correct side of history with that take, and it comes full circle, and you do it on this show.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you mentioned not as much playoff experience. These are really, if you think about it, these are 2 teams that have not been to the playoffs in quite a long time. First, I think the last time the Raiders won a playoff game was 2002, and the last time the Bengals won a playoff game was 92 or 93. I saw some tweet that was like, there has never been a text message from one Bengals fan to another Bengals fan about winning a playoff game because text messaging was invented the next year. It was either 92 or 93 was their
That's
last.
wild.
It's been a long time coming. I'm going to be rooting for Cincinnati, but it's also just cool that we get these games because these fan bases, like against these fan bases that really haven't had this. So it'll be nice to see somebody advance to the next round. I'm picking Cincinnati as well. I think the last meeting was in November. These teams have played once before. I had the final score here.
I think it was 32-10.
32-10. Thank you for the help here. We're going to need a lot of that as the show goes along. 32-10. Yes. So Bengals.
Wow, how did I know that?
Yeah, you're smart. And you're a football.
The gears are moving today.
You're a football gal. Hold on.
Yeah. No, the Bengals, I think they're, again, like I said, they're going to show up and they know this team. It's not an unfamiliar team.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs
Absolutely.
are different. I will, we can make that argument all day long, but I'm sticking with the Bengals.
And the playoffs are different. Let's talk about this and we'll move on to the next game. How much of a factor do you think it's going to be that the Raiders had to fight, tooth and nail, and it goes to overtime like it did all the way down to the last second of overtime with that last second kick, and then you have a Bengals team that's going to be relatively fresh with the starters. Burrow didn't play in the last week of the year. I believe Joe Mixon sat out as well. I think Jamar Chase might have played a little bit, but it's the classic, the rest versus rust. How do you think, or the rest versus playing? Do you think that'll play a factor in it at all, or do you think the week was long enough for the Raiders to get fully recharged for this game?
I'm sure the Raiders are pretty amped about what happened last week, so I'm not saying that they went home and went to sleep right away. I have a feeling that they kind of enjoyed themselves a bit. So I think that they'll be rested, but Joey B in particular, just like with that weird knee thing that happened at the end of the game in week 17, he needed that, and I think that's going to be very beneficial for him. I feel like 2 weeks rest is too much and a week rest is like perfect. So hopefully it ends up being good for him. I would cry my eyes out if I saw Joe Burrow go down in a playoff game like what we saw last year. So, but I think that it's worth it. I think that the rest is worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it was a meaningless game. They didn't need it.
Right.
They didn't need the game to advance to the playoffs. They didn't need it to win the division, which they did in that division that was just so tight all year this year. But let's move on to the next game, and it's one that I know you're excited for, one I'm excited for, one who our friend Alec Wald here, who just commented about the Patriots blowing it in Week 18, is excited for. It's the Pats and the Bills. So you are, what do you call the Bills, like your second team behind the Giants?
I call them like my AFC team. Like I have my NFC team with the Giants, and then the Buffalo Bills are like my AFC team.
I love it. So let's break this game down. These teams have played twice before already. First time in Buffalo. Obviously, it was the 30-mile-an-hour winds, the crazy weather. Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times. Just the Patriots really ran all over the Bills' defense. Then we go to New England for the second meeting. I think it was a couple weeks later. Bills end up winning by 2 scores. Really looked like the Bills that we had come to expect at the beginning of the year. They end up taking the division, and now they have home field advantage in this game. Again, not going to be great weather in Buffalo. I believe it's going to be about 15 degrees in that area. How do you see this game playing out? Do you think we see a repeat of the second matchup? Do you think it's going to be how tight of a game do you expect this to be? This is probably one of the biggest games for Buffalo that they've had in quite a while, and especially it being against the Patriots, who really consider themselves Buffalo's big brother in the AFC East division for so long.
I won't say I think. I would say I know this game is going to take years off of my life because it's the Saturday night game. I'm just going to be so amped for this game. Here is my argument, and I know Bill Belichick has been to a gazillion playoffs and a gazillion Super Bowls, and he knows what he's doing. Mac Jones is a rookie quarterback. Like, we need to remember that, right? Like, despite him being a very good quarterback this year, surprising a lot of people, being the best rookie quarterback out of this draft class, he is still not used to the NFL postseason. And while Bill can prep him in every way he can, he's not on the field. So my argument here is most of this Bills team is seasoned in the playoffs. They know how the playoffs work. They know how they need to play in the playoffs in order to win. And it's been a few years now that Josh Allen has been leading this team in the postseason. So I think that he's had his time to push out his mistakes. We've seen him get a little panicky in the postseason.
Right.
I think his confidence is elevated. I think that, he's got this extremely powerful team with the Buffalo Bills, the number 1 defense in the league. And Mac Jones is new and he's just getting in. Hi, Hank. And I just think that while the Patriots, people will make that argument, but a split in the division during the regular season, I think the Bills are not going to let the Patriots win a game in Buffalo again, because I think it would burn to the ground.
I mean, the over-under on tables being broken tomorrow in Buffalo is just going to be, like, insane.
I'm going to break a table, and I'm not even in Buffalo.
Oh, I'll do it all the way here in Champaign, Illinois. I will go buy one just to break it in honor of Bills Mafia.
Those tables are not cheap either. Like, they're like $50 tables.
They just don't give a fuck. They love football. That's why I love Bills fans. They're awesome. They're the best. So the last time we saw these two teams play in Buffalo, I mentioned earlier, Mac Jones only throws 3 passes, of course, related to the weather. Of course, Bill Belichick being, the crazy football fucking guy that he is, pulling off a win with his quarterback throwing 3 passes. Do you think we see a similar strategy with, everything that's on the line, with how effective the Damian Harris has been this year for the Patriots in the backfield? Do you think we see a similar strategy from New England on Saturday?
If they do, because the thing is, that is the smartest thing to do, especially in bad weather. The smartest thing is to not throw the ball. And since this has already happened, I'm sure this Bills defense is preparing in every way, shape, and form to make sure that they are completely prepared for the Patriots run game. And I think the Bills run game in and of itself as well, which is I think what lost that game for them originally, is they couldn't get the ball down the field. Josh Allen can't do everything for you, even though he can do everything. He is an immaculate human being and should be emperor of the universe. But the Bills run game has improved. The Bills defense is now very aware of how the Patriots run game is in this type of weather. So I think that since that familiarity is already there, I think that they're going to be able to learn from it. And I'm sure Bill's got stuff up his sleeve. He always does. He doesn't even have any sleeves. In his pockets, I guess. I think that the Bills are ready, and I think that they're ready to take on this team and a rookie quarterback. So that's how I'm feeling.
So there was so much hype around the Bills, right, at the beginning of the year, and to start off with the year with that disappointing loss at home to Pittsburgh, and it just felt like at certain times this year we weren't seeing this team play to their full potential. And I think that first New England loss really pissed them off and kind of woke them up a little bit. And I would absolutely love to see the Bills make a run on the AFC side here. And I think it really is a problem. The last thing we'll say about the Bills before we move on to the Sunday games is you're right. Josh Allen can't do everything. It's, I do like Zach Moss. I like Devin Singletary, but
love Devin.
They don't have a true number 1 running back. And that shows when Josh Allen, which, he is dynamic. And if he can make those plays with his feet, you got to make the plays with your feet, right? But I don't know if you love when your quarterback that's as talented as he is your leading rusher. It's great, but it's also like it just opens up for, way more hits, way more opportunities to get injured and take him out of the game. But you have to have some type of, downhill running threat in the backfield to really be an effective team in this league. Look at the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry. Up until week 18, the Colts and Jonathan Taylor when they decided to just stop giving him the ball. I don't know. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. And Josh Allen is a big guy, like he's not afraid to
He's
go.
tall and he looks great in shorts.
He's he does look great in shorts. But he's like what 6'6", probably like 230, 240 pounds. Like
He's a man rocket.
he is built. But I also would be so nervous to see him running that much and going, putting his head down and taking those hits, because
Absolutely.
you're young now, but you're not going to be young forever, Joshua. All right, remember that. I know that you're listening.
Remember that, huh? Try the veal. Anyway, let's move on to the Sunday games. So the first game on the docket, shout out to our friend Sporty Jordy, Bang Bang Bird game. The 9-8 Philadelphia Eagles are traveling to Tampa Bay to face the 13. God damn it. 13-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. I believe it's going to be rainy weather. It's going to be a nice slop fest. We have a great run defense from the Buccaneers, but who do sometimes struggle with running quarterbacks against one of the best running teams in the league, in the Philadelphia Eagles. So how do you see this game shaking out? Is it close? Is it a blowout? Kind of how some people are seeing it on the Buccaneers side. What's your take on this game?
I'd love to see it be a game. I'd really love to actually see them go back and forth, especially because of the way Eagles fans feel about Tom Brady. I did a lot of research this week at work about the whole Tom Brady not shaking Nick Foles' hand. That took up a lot of my time, believe it or not. So, the Eagles fans feel a certain way about the Buccaneers or Tom Brady rather, because they love Nick Foles. So I think that energy will still be here in this game. There's still that rivalry between Tom, and we feel it, the same way that when Tom Brady plays the Giants, it's that kind of same, that you beat him in the Super Bowl, they weren't able to beat the greatest of all time kind of situation. So I have a feeling it will be kind of back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's still Tom Brady, it's still him. He's still there. He's still very good in the postseason, and this is Jalen Hurts' first time. So I'm sure they'll put up a fight, but I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening.
Yeah. The last time these two teams played, week 6 of this season, it was a 28-22 victory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe a little closer in that game than people saw coming. Like I said, I actually talked to a Bucs fan at work today, and I asked him what he thought about the game, and he actually is kind of nervous. He thinks the Eagles are going to keep it close. He thinks that the Bucs kind of struggle with running quarterbacks, and he foresees Jalen Hurts scoring at least one touchdown. So we'll see. We'll see if the rainy weather has to do or causes any turnovers or something like that. But I think we're both kind of on the same page here. We're both taking the Buccaneers. Another comment. Hank is just dominating the comments right now. I do appreciate you for tuning in, Hank, or anybody else tuning in as well. Let's go Bucs and 49ers this weekend. Absolutely. I am with you there as well. Speaking of the 49ers, that's the next game we're going to talk about, and I think it's going to be the most exciting game on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. CBS. 49ers at the Cowboys.
Tell me Tony Romo's doing that game. He's got to be.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know. Actually, yeah, definitely 3:30.
He's got to be.
Yeah, it's definitely Nance and Tony Romo. So the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers have been labeled as this team the last few weeks that you absolutely do not want to see in the playoffs. We saw Dallas. They hung 50 points again for the second time in 3 weeks. In week 18, they hung 50 points on the Philadelphia Eagles. There have been questions about the offense at certain times. Maybe the run game has struggled a little bit. Questions about Dak Prescott. I actually think he's primed for a big performance in this game personally. But what's your take on it? I know you're an NFC East fan, so I know your disdain for the Dallas Cowboys. But what do you think about this game?
I think that this is going to be one of the best games of the weekend, like you were saying. Like, this was the game I was staring at that I was like, who is going to win this game? Like, it's the 49ers have really surprised a lot of people this year. I wasn't expecting the 49ers to be as good as they turned out to be, especially Jimmy G, and he's got all his problems and his injuries and the quarterback situation. And it was like kind of a mess for a little while. But these past couple weeks, the 49ers have looked amazing. Kittle came back. Like, it's incredible to see what they have been doing. And to go to your point that you were saying about the 50 points with the Dallas Cowboys, yes, Dak Prescott and the offense was put up 107 points the past 2 weeks of the regular season.
That. Nice stat.
Thank you. Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. Let's just take that into consideration real quick. All right. Like, not to take away from Dak, who has actually had a very impressive season, but that, we have to throw that out there as well, just so that everyone knows it wasn't, you weren't going up against these like grade A teams.
That's a good point. And
so the 49ers defense is like not at all Philly or Washington's defense. So I think that it's going to be a little bit more tough. I don't think their run game is going to be very strong in this game. And I think that the 49ers will use the defense on the Cowboys side. They have a very vulnerability to the run game. They're fantastic in their secondary. Trayvon Diggs has been an absolute just animal. But I think that the 49ers are going to run the ball, and they're going to do what they need to do to get points on the board. Jimmy G's thumb, I'm not really concerned about. And I think the 49ers are going to take
in the second half last week.
Yeah, he did.
After looking atrocious in the first half. And everybody, you can say what you want about Jimmy G this year, but he went out and got them a win last week.
He did what he needed to do for that team, and he helped win that game for them. So,
he's a better option than Trey Lance right now. That's
absolutely
for them.
Oh, I would not put Trey Lance in at all. I mean, Jimmy G was in the freaking Super Bowl. Like, people forget about that.
People forget. Fun fact, I had a class in my freshman year of college at Illinois State with Jimmy Garoppolo's brother, Billy Garoppolo.
Well, you don't say.
Yeah, I do.
Is he equally as handsome?
No. Jimmy definitely got he's not ugly, but he's not like Jimmy's like way hotter. Like no disrespect to Billy Garoppolo, he's a good guy. I didn't know him that well. I just had a class with him.
That's wild.
But as soon as you hear the name Garoppolo, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, of course, we got Hank dominating again. Fun fact, this will be the 8th playoff matchup in NFL history between the Niners and the Cowboys, and it's happening exactly 40 years and six days to the day of the catch.
What a great stat.
We'll get winners and losers really in just a little bit when we do our little bracket reveal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're both on the same page here that the 49ers are absolutely in a good position to win this game. You talk about what their defensive line is able to do. Will the Cowboys' offensive line be able to hold up? Will they be able to keep, Dak protected? Do they fill holes, or do they get holes for Pollard, for Ezekiel Elliott? I believe.
And no Michael Gallup, right?
No Michael Gallup. Yes, that's actually reading each other's minds. That's where I was about to go with it. You still have Amari Cooper. You still, of course, have CeeDee Lamb. We'll see. I think it's going to be a good football game. In my opinion, it'll be the best one of the 3 that are played on Sunday. Speaking of the 3 that are played on Sunday, let's talk about the third one. And it's one that, honestly, hard for me to get up for. Hard for me to get super excited about. I love football. I'm still going to watch the shit out of it. But it is the Steelers. It's Steelers-Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. Steelers at the Chiefs. Last time these two teams played, what was it, like a 30-point win for the Chiefs?
The Chiefs definitely ran all over the Steelers last time they played.
I'm looking it up right now.
That score I don't have.
36-10. So a 26-point victory for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sounds awfully familiar, like that Raiders-Bengals score, so that's interesting.
Absolutely. So, are we going to see more of the same this weekend? You and I were talking about right before we got on what Big Ben said to the media this week, and basically to the effect of, we know we're not a good team. We know we probably shouldn't be here. We know there's 14 teams in the playoffs, and we're the 14th team. We're just here to have fun and have a good time. I don't know about you, but if I'm his teammate and I see that, I don't love that. I don't love that mindset going into a playoff game, especially one that's supposed to be his like last ride,
Right.
out to glory. Even though,
Right.
not a good guy, but
Yeah.
either way.
I think that I feel like that was like his headspace, right? Like he was thinking, this is most likely going to be my last playoff game, and I just want to have fun. Like I just want to enjoy my time as a professional football player. I feel like that was what he is supposed to be thinking for himself.
Right.
But as a team, yeah, if your leader says like, "Hey, we're the worst team in this playoffs, so just go out and just have fun." Like that's what you say to like your Pee Wee league. It seems like a very strange.
That's what I'm gonna say to my son's fucking little league baseball team here in 2-3 years.
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, we're not the greatest, but we have heart, and
No,
like that's.
I demand excellence. I
And he's gonna have a very strict Pee Wee league for Carson.
I mean, I'm not raising a minor leaguer. We're going to the majors, okay?
Majors.
First, have I told you that I bought him a this has nothing to do with baseball, but I bought him a field goal post for Christmas.
I saw your video of him kicking.
Kick. He's only kicking with his left foot, which is like there's not a lot of lefty kickers. We start it now. We get the repetitions in. Like we got a great chance here. Make him the next Adam Vinatieri.
I was just gonna say he's gonna be the next Adam Vinatieri.
But it's weird because he throws with his right hand. He's been like, if he's
maybe he's ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous as fuck. I'm all in on that. Let's make that
switch hitter, baby.
I know. Let's get them big bucks.
Yeah,
big bucks. Anyway, back to football. I'm not talking about my son.
I love talking about your son.
I do too, little shithead. Anyway, let's go. So, I mean, we didn't really Chiefs 5 million here. That's all I have to say. Like
bottom line, I think that the thing is though, I do have to say, I feel like when teams go in like kind of like without any expectations, I feel like the Steelers will play a good game.
It's absolutely the game where that's what happens. It's always the ones where everybody's like, oh, we're all over this one team. They're gonna kill them. And those are usually the ones where the other team gives them a game. At least.
What an upset it would be, though.
Yeah, it would, and it would piss me off. And I'm not even like a Chiefs guy, but it's just I wanted to see Justin Herbert and the Chargers in the playoffs.
And the Chargers could have beaten the Chiefs too. I would have taken the Chargers in this game.
I probably would have taken the Chargers. I would have picked the Chargers as well. I probably would have too, just because they're
freaking
fun.
Timeout by Brandon Staley. He's the reason why.
Questionable coaching decisions by him. Not just that game. The last 3-4 weeks of the season, it kind of all just. But that's that, live by the analytics, die by the analytics. I don't know if you've seen that meme where, it's like the dude on the bus where it's like one's like super happy and the other one's like really sad on the other side. And so I saw a tweet today that was like, analytics is killing sports. And somebody quoted it with that and was like, the sad one was analytics guy. And the happy one was that boy nice watcher. And I was like, that's what I am. I'm just like, that dude's fucking sick. That's how I watch football.
Love it.
Let's move on. So Monday night, we get a Monday night playoff game.
Love it.
Unfortunately, it's the Monday night crew, but that's okay. Cardinals,
no Manning cast.
Which is honestly, you'd be a weirdo to watch a Manning cast for a playoff game. You got to lock in for a playoff game.
Call me a weirdo then. I would have watched the Manning cast instead of listening to all of them talk.
Well, I understand. Okay, yes.
That's just, but I'm an Eli gal. I love my Mannings. I need a dose of Mannings.
I absolutely get it. It's when you're from New York, you see Eli on that screen, you just start feeling things.
I love Eli.
I know. He's really good on TV too. He's really good.
I don't know why some people like hated the Manning cast. I thought it was phenomenal.
No, it's great. I like it. I love watching it on, regular season games, but sometimes like when it's a playoff game or it's something on the line, well, it's like I don't really give a fuck about these teams either way, so I probably would tune into the Manning cast for at least a little bit. But like I feel like if you're a Rams fan or a Cardinals fan, you really and it's the playoffs, you really want to like lock in. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But anyway, Rams Cardinals Monday night. two division rivals, two teams that went at it for the NFC West basically till the last week of the season. The Rams do come in at 12-5, Cardinals at 11-6. The Cardinals were a team that you and Jordan have been talking about pretty much all year.
Mhm.
What's your assessment of this game? We have both teams lost last week, which was kind of weird. So they're kind of stumbling into the playoffs,
Right.
as they say. But what's your take on this game? We've seen, Matt Stafford kind of struggle these past few weeks. Questions about him taking care of the ball, untimely interceptions. The Cardinals, I don't know if they're 100% healthy yet.
Mhm.
What do you think?
This is going to be an intense game because again, it's going to be similar to Bills Patriots, right? A division game where they split in the regular season and like anything is possible for the most part, and it's hard to say what's no, it
We
does not.
love it. That's true. That's true, Red.
But I have this feeling that so they're both on a decline, like you were saying. Like they both kind of have been on a decline though for weeks now. Like it's kind of just been like a slow de-escalation. So I'm feeling like yes, this will be a good game, but I'm sticking with my gut and I'm sticking with it and I'm going with the Cardinals in this game. Just because yes, Matt Stafford has had his playoff, he's been in the playoffs before. He knows what it's like. It's been quite a few years, but he's been there. But this is a new team, and I feel like ever since they brought in Vaughn, ever since they brought in OBJ, like this team is like not clicking in like a weird way because you have all of this talent, and it's almost like you have too much of it, and like nobody knows what to do. It's weird because you feel like they should be like this unstoppable team, and they are totally stoppable. So I think JJ Watt might be coming into this game. I know.
Hopkins playing?
What's up?
Is DeAndre Hopkins playing, or is he out for the
I
year?
don't think so. I believe James Conner will be back. I believe they're talking about JJ Watt coming in. And also to like just rewind back to the Steelers game, apparently Juju might play as well. So it's all of these guys are coming back.
I saw a tweet from a Browns fan today that said the Browns should sign Juju. Changed my mind, and then somebody was like, "I hate it, but it actually would be a good fit."
It would work.
I don't know if that would happen.
I don't think Juju would go.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Juju is so devoted.
Is their logo big enough for him to dance on out there? Hopkins is out until the Super Bowl. Thank you, D-Bake. Check out all of D-Bake's work. He is Cage My IQ, an awesome MMA podcast. And then Juju should be back for divisional round. He's dropping knowledge on us.
Yeah, we got some updates here
in the comments. So
I'm going with the Cardinals in this game.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Sticking with it because I can't go against them.
I can't either. I love them. They're fun to watch, and this is really the Rams going all in, right? They trade for Von Miller. They pick up Odell Beckham Jr. And obviously they have Cooper Kupp, who's just been a machine this year.
MVP.
Just absolute fantasy MVP for me, winning the podcast league. But I think we're on the same page there. That's our NFL Wildcard recap. So the first 6 games of the NFL playoffs. Now we have a little bracket challenge that we're going to do. So we each will give out our picks for the entire bracket. It's pretty similar to an NCAA March Madness bracket. For every game we get right in the first round, we get 1 point. For every game you get right in the second round, you get 2 points. For every game you get right in the third round, it's 3 points. If you do have a team that advances to the Super Bowl and you get that right, that's 4 points. So we're just going to go rapid fire. We'll go each game here. Sam, you wrote out the bracket, which is just absolute dedication. Look at that. That's incredible. So we'll start. First game, top left of the bracket, is the Chiefs and the Steelers. We already kind of alluded to it. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs here. It's kind of the only thing that makes sense.
Absolutely. So then we have the Bills and the Patriots.
Bills Mafia, let's go.
Bills Mafia. We are both the same there. That is absolutely correct. Cincinnati and Las Vegas. I think we're both on Cincinnati.
I feel like our first round is pretty much the same.
First round is going to be very similar, it feels like. So
Joey B.
Joey B. And we move over to the NFC, Eagles,
Mhm.
Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks.
Bucks.
And then we go to San Francisco and Dallas. I'm taking San Francisco.
Yep.
Yer. And then we go to
Yer.
Arizona and LA, and we take Arizona. So this has been a great pick 'em so far. We've taken exactly the same things.
I have a feeling that it's going to get very different soon, though.
Yeah, I feel like it is. Maybe we'll see. So we go back to the AFC for the second round. So
Okay.
this would be both of us, Bills, Titans, and I'm taking the Bills again.
It would be Bills Titans? No, it's going to be Chiefs Titans, isn't it?
I have. Oh wait, no. This is excuse me. That's that's old. Hold on. What the fuck?
The one that you have on your background is correct.
Is correct. Okay, of course it is. I wasn't even looking at that one. I was looking at like another one. So Chiefs, Titans. Excuse me, I'm stupid. Chiefs, Titans. Who are you taking?
Let's see. What did I pick here? I don't even remember. Oh, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I'm picking the Titans in this game. I think that after a first round bye, very different, and it's hard to go up a team that's been rested. And the Chiefs are usually in the opposite position. I think the Titans are gonna, with Derrick Henry coming back.
This is a rare home game for the Titans. Home field advantage, number 1 overall seed. I'm taking the Chiefs. They always do this. They're gonna rip their hearts out. I feel like very close, tight game.
Yeah.
We got to get something different here. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs. Some opportunity for somebody to take the lead here. So now it's actually going to be the Bills and the Bengals, and this is a tough one. But I'll let you go first.
My heart is torn. It's real torn, but I will bring up that argument of the fact that the Bills are still more seasoned in the playoffs and know what's going on. So I am picking the Bills here, but this game, if this is what the game that we get, oh my God, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. But yep, Bills.
Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Eagles. Wait, hold on. Chiefs can't play Titans. They are 1 and 2 seed. So what was I? Matchups would be Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals, Titans. Okay. So we just fucked up. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. They wouldn't have the 2 seed play the 1 in the second round, would they?
So is this thing behind you wrong? Because I was going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why it has. Yeah, me too. I was going with that too. Very weird. Something stupid always happens on this show. So Tennessee Titans by wildcard round.
So would it be against the Bills?
So it would be what he said.
Titans.
So it'd be Chiefs, Bills.
Oh, Chiefs, Bills.
Bengals, Titans.
Okay.
So this changes it a little bit. I'm taking.
Oh God. Okay.
So then I'm taking the Bills and the Titans then.
So wait. So okay. So Bills are going up against the Chiefs.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still going more.
Yeah.
Because this is a rematch of last year's championship.
This is a revenge game.
And again, like I said, like Josh Allen, he's trying to make a name. Well, he's already made himself a name, but like he's like making sure that this team goes as far as possible. So I'm still taking the Bills here.
Absolutely. So we will go. Yeah, we're both taking the Bills then over the Chiefs, and then we have the Bengals versus the Titans.
I'm still picking the Titans here.
Still picking the Titans. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then are you sure that's right? Because it's showing everything else.
Why are we like this?
So tweaked about this. Okay, no, this is right. This one's showing the right one now. So weird. I don't know why there's different ones. All right, so we move on over to the NFC. So it would be the Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. And then it would be Tampa versus San Francisco for both of us. So unfortunately, I would take the Packers here. I love the Cardinals, but I don't know how they're going to fare at a cold weather Lambeau Field.
Yeah, no, and plus again, like if they even make it, through like going up against Aaron Rodgers and this well-rested Packers team, I'm still taking the Packers.
Yeah, unfortunately. So from there, I'm going to take Tampa Bay versus San Francisco. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think I go Tampa Bay here still. It's hard for me to pick against Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think that they have enough to get past the Cowboys. I don't know if they're gonna have enough to get past the Buccaneers, so I'm going with the Bucks.
Bucks. So that sets up Bucks Packers in the NFC Championship game. I'm taking the Bucks because Aaron Rodgers loves to choke away NFC Championship games. So I have the Bucks, and it would be Bills versus the Titans for both of us, correct? And I'm taking the Bills. So Bills Bucks is my Super Bowl.
All right. Well, that was my original prediction back in September before the season started. However, we have finally become different, and
only took us to the Super Bowl.
Only took us to the Super Bowl. I think there's no way
to. Look, we just fucked up again, didn't I?
Wait, no,
that says Niners and Niners.
Niners and no, it would be Packers.
Okay, the lowest seed would go to the one. So okay, no, okay, so it would be
Packers, Niners, and then Bucks, Cards.
Yes, which that actually might change.
Bucks, Cards. No, I'd still take Tom.
Yeah.
Bucks, Cards, and I'd still take Packers over the Niners. That's also interesting. That's a revenge game for Aaron.
Passing on him, yes. And Tom Brady grew up a Niners fan too.
Interesting.
It's been a great bracket where we don't know the actual bracket, huh? I wish everything on here I have every different one on here has told me different shit. I don't understand. Okay, so
the moral here is that I think that
basically the same shit.
The NFC Championship game will be Packers Buccaneers.
Right.
That's what's going to end up happening, and it's going to be a repeat from last year. And I don't see Aaron Rodgers letting that happen again.
I do, because I hate him.
You hate him.
In prison.
I just I feel like he's not going to go into this after everything that's happened in the offseason, everything with his stupid toe, everything that's gone on with the Packers. For him to come back to where he was last year and for him to lose, I feel like he can't let that happen.
Yeah.
And yes, it's now he knows a Tampa Bay Tom Brady. I don't know. I feel like we should never bet against Tom Brady, but he does have his weaknesses.
That's true.
And I'm feeling like the Packers are really gonna try and push here. I'm doing Bills Packers Super Bowl.
Bills Packers Super Bowl. I'm gonna stick Bills Bucks then. I still think the Bucks get the best of the 49ers. I know the Niners have a great run game. Once again, the Bucks they are great on that defensive line, stopping the run, stuffing the run. And then I'd take the Bucks over the Packers just as a principle because the Packers love to choke away NFC Championship games, and I'm a salty Bears fan. So that definitely has stuff to do with it. So that is our bracket pick'em, our bracket challenge that is essentially the same until the Super Bowl, which, you know what? It was fun either way. It was fun not getting the bracket correct at all.
I mean, I think we hit every type of possible game.
We did. We got so many combinations there that actually
one of them is right.
We're geniuses. We just went full galaxy brain. We're previewing everything and any absolute possibilities. So you guys are welcome. I do blame the background though, because I was totally just going off the background that I found there.
So was I. That's what I based mine off of.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna go switch this background actually to show us the gentleman that stood us up this evening. That you really can't see. It is blocked there. But so technically this is Maloney's money line on the Brew Party podcast. So I'm going to be giving out my picks for this weekend. Sam already gave our pick'em and the wildcard preview. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. Unfortunately, I don't have Ryan's I'll have to just release those tomorrow morning before the games. So I'll just roll through these. So you know how we do it. Favorite, underdog, over, under, lock of the week, then 3 general picks. So my favorite of the week is the Bengals minus 5.5 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Bengals in this spot. I just think they're rested, and I don't know if Las Vegas is going to come in a little tired from that overtime game. The Bengals are 10-7 against the spread. Raiders are 8-9 against the spread. Next, my underdog, Bang Bang Bird Gang. I'm going Eagles plus 8.5 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at minus 109. This is one I'm not super sure of. I believe the weather is reported to be rainy and sloppy. I believe the Eagles could muck it up, run the ball, run some clock, and keep this game within one score. I still like Tampa Bay to win the game. Philly's 8-1 against the spread on the year. Tampa Bay's 9-8 against the spread as well. And just 8.5 feels like a lot of points for a playoff game. So my over, I'm going back to Cincinnati and Las Vegas. Over 48.5 at minus 112. Both of these teams are 8-9, or overs are 8-9 in both of these teams' games this season. But I don't know. It just feels like one with a lot of points. It's two explosive offenses. Joey's back. The Raiders can score a lot of points. They have Darren Waller back. That's a huge part of their offense as well. My under, I am going Kansas City and Pittsburgh under 46. I just feel like this is a game where Kansas City scores a lot and Pittsburgh doesn't score much. So that's really what I'm going with here. Overs are 10-7 in Kansas City games, which I don't love that. But the unders are 10-6-1 in Pittsburgh games. They just don't score a lot of points. Everyone's picking Kansas City. Like we talked about earlier, it just feels like one of those games. I mean, I hope Pittsburgh doesn't keep it close, but I just don't see there being a lot of points scored in this game. So from here, we go to my lock of the week, and my lock of the week is going to be the Bills minus 4.5 versus New England. I love the Bills. Bills Mafia. Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills, and I don't trust Mac Jones here. He's a rookie quarterback. He has no experience in the playoffs yet. When he has played this team, they handcuffed him, and they only let him throw the ball 3 times. The second meeting at home, he struggled, and Buffalo wins the game. So I like them to win it again this weekend. I know I'm a homer. I also I also just love watching the Patriots lose, to be honest with you. And then Brian McCardle in Florida can confirm 77% chance of rain here in Tampa. Could be a sloppy Sunday. Brian McCardle, weatherman on the scene in Tampa. Thank
Meteorologist
you. Meteorologist Brian McCardle. You ever thought about that, Brian? I don't know. Something to think about. Anyway, that's my lock of the week. I got 3 more picks that I like here. A couple underdogs. Cardinals plus 4 at the Los Angeles Rams. The Cardinals are 10-7 against the spread. The Rams are 8-9 against the spread. Just haven't been good at covering so far this season. Both teams lost that last week. Kind of stumbled down. I'm questioning Matt Stafford. As crazy as that sounds, he hasn't been able to take care of the ball down the stretch, and really, his career record against teams over 500 is pretty bad. The couple times he has played in the playoffs for the Lions, I don't think it went well. So I am taking the Arizona Cardinals here. And it's not like they have a lot of playoff experience either. Just, that's my pick. I'm sticking to it. Father of 2. Don't ask me about it. Anyway, 49ers plus 3 at the Dallas Cowboys is my next pick. What did I write? Oh, so I'm nervous. The Cowboys are 13-4 against the spread on the year. That leads the league. That is the best in the league. San Francisco is 9-8. But like I said earlier, they are a team that nobody wants to play right now. They have tough matchups. Deebo Samuel is one of the most electric players in the league. You can put him in the backfield. You can put him out wide. He's one of the fastest dudes I think I've ever seen. Awesome. Like definition of that meme I was talking about earlier. That boy nice. Anyway, I'm taking the 49ers plus 3, and this is a definitely 49ers, Cardinals, definitely a sprinkle on the money line, folks. And then my last pick, staying in the this game, Dak Prescott over 276.5 pass yards. This is kind of a revenge bet for me. A couple weeks ago, I had a parlay on it was the Washington football team game where they just beat the crap out of them, where I took the over on Heineke's yards instead of the over on Dak's yards, and he hit the over on his yards in like the first half. So this is completely a revenge one. So it's over 276.5. He's done that 7 times this year. So 7 times in 16 games. It's not the best ratio, but if you're looking at his averages, he is averaging 278 pass yards per game. He's also gone over this number 2 of the last 3 games. Again, we have to mention, Sam mentioned it earlier, those 2 games were against depleted Washington football team and basically the Eagles practice squad. Take it for what you will, but this is a huge game for both of these teams. When was the last time, the Cowboys were in a playoff game that, they were favored in, first of all, that they've been a higher seed, and it's been a huge year for the Cowboys. I feel like he comes out and they throw the ball a lot, especially with how they've kind of struggled to run the ball this season. But those are my 8 picks. That's our NFL Wildcard Weekend preview. We did it in under an hour. Sam, I thank you so much for being here, riding through this absolute shit show with me and all of my mistakes. That's just what you get when your podcast is called The Brew Party. It's about getting fucked up on it. Anyway, before we let you go, please let everybody know where we can find all of your incredible content, because you're just killing it right now.
Oh, thank you. I am, like you can tell down below, the host of the Girl Who Talk Sports podcast. I'm available on all podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is that you get your podcast from. Where else am I? I'm on YouTube. You can follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Girl Who Talks Sports. I'm like out of commission with this a little bit. I haven't been on a podcast. What else do I have to do? Social media, TGWTS podcast on Twitter, and The Girl Who Talks Sports on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much. I appreciate that comment. It's very sweet. And yeah, so that's where I am. And I put out a new episode this week on podcast and YouTube. You can check that out. I did a whole part of my podcast where I took my predictions from the divisions and I compared them to the actual division winners, which was a very fun and enlightening experience. So you guys can go check that out.
Absolutely. Check out Sam wherever you get your podcast. She does The Girl Who Talks Sports. She's also on, don't you do a show on Sundays?
Oh, yes, I do. Well? I do Fantasy Underdogs with our friend Jordan and our producer Evan. So it's very fun. We do pick'ems beforehand. We should be having a show this Sunday, so you guys can check it out on Twitter and Instagram. It is the FU Dogs Pod. Jordan made the name.
It's an awesome pregame show every Sunday morning. Definitely check it out. Giving their takes, previewing every game for that day. But Sam, thank you so much for filling in for us as Ryan stood us up. I really hope he comes back.
Hey, Ryan's making life moves right now.
He is. Ryan was looking at a house today, so we're hoping that him and his fiance Molly are able to get that. And then hopefully there's a place next to it that I could go move into so we could not ever have this problem again. And I will bang down his door. I'm just kidding, though. Seriously, it's not a big deal. We will have Ryan's picks tomorrow. I'm still going to put my picks out. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in live. D-Bake, Brian, Red Raspus, Hank, Alec Walt. Anybody that's been here, we appreciate you tuning in live. If you are able to tune in after the show, we appreciate that as well. This is the Brew Party Podcast, episode 96, NFL Wildcard Weekend, plus Maloney's Money Line, sans Maloney. But find us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or just go to www.thebrewparty.com. It's got links to all of our social media, ways to listen to all of our episodes. Follow us on Twitter at The Brew Party. Follow us on Instagram at The Brew Party. We are on Facebook at The Brew Party Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/The Brew Party. Please help us out. Subscribe, like this video, comment, share it with a friend who tells a friend. Tail our picks or fade my picks. I really don't care. Everybody have an awesome NFL Wildcard Weekend. Thank you once again. to the one and only Sam Cardona from the Girl Who Talks Sports podcast. This is the Brew Party. I'm Andy Hopper. Go Illini. We're going to fuck Michigan up tonight. Lock of the week, lock of the century from my friend Lucas Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, he says, take the Illini minus 45. We're putting a 50 burger on the Wolverines tonight. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great rest of your night. This is the Brew Party podcast.